All right, let's jump right in. We're going to decode 4 acronyms that are absolutely critical for operational safety: MOC, PSM, MCR, and MCO. You know, if you've ever looked at a massive industrial plant and wondered how on earth do they change anything in there without causing a catastrophe, well, you're about to find out.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why change is so tricky in the first place. Then we'll unpack each of our key terms, one by one. And finally, we'll put all the pieces together so you can see the complete picture. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, Section 1, the challenge of change. You see, industrial facilities, they aren't museums. They have to constantly evolve to stay efficient and competitive. But here's the catch. Every single time you tweak a process or change a part, you're rolling the dice, introducing new risks. And without a plan, that is a recipe for disaster.
And that really gets to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? This is the million-dollar question. How do you modify a complex, living, breathing system, while it's running, mind you, without putting people, the public, or the entire environment in danger? It's a huge, huge challenge.
So how do we solve this puzzle? Well, the answer starts with what you could call a master plan. Let's move into Section 2 and talk about our first big acronym, MOC. This stands for Management of Change, and it really is the foundation for everything else.
So what is MOC, really? Think of it like a formal system that hits the pause button. Before any significant change happens, whether it's new equipment, a new procedure, or even just changing personnel, MOC forces the team to stop, identify all the potential risks, and figure out how to control them. It's a safety net, plain and simple.
And here's the thing, MOC isn't just about avoiding catastrophes. It's just plain smart business. It helps things run more smoothly, creates a stable environment, and makes sure that any changes are actually technically sound. And maybe most importantly, it makes it crystal clear who has approved the change and who is responsible for its safety. No gray areas.
Okay, so MOC is our big picture framework for any change. But what happens when the change involves something, well, really dangerous? That brings us to Section 3 and our next acronym, PSM, or Process Safety Management. This is a whole other level of protection.
You see, PSM isn't for every situation. It's a highly specialized system that kicks in only when the stakes are at their absolute highest, specifically when you're dealing with large amounts of hazardous chemicals. We're talking toxic, flammable, explosive stuff. PSM is the rulebook for handling these high-risk environments with extreme care.
At the end of the day, the goal of PSM is incredibly simple and incredibly important. Stop dangerous chemicals from getting out. That's it. It's all about preventing those catastrophic accidents that you hear about on the news before they even have a chance to happen.
And don't think for a second this is just some friendly recommendation. Nope. In the US, OSHA has a formal PSM standard, and it includes 14, that's 1-4, very specific elements that companies must follow. This isn't just a good idea, it's the law, and it has real regulatory teeth.
Okay, so let's put these two head-to-head, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Think of it this way. MOC is the giant umbrella that covers any big change. PSM is the specialized heavy-duty safety gear you are required to use under that umbrella whenever you're working with hazardous chemicals. It's a critical piece that fits inside the larger MOC framework.
All right, so we've got these big, important systems in place. But how does a change actually begin? You know, out there on the plant floor. That brings us to Section 4 and our next 2 acronyms, which are all about moving from an idea to real, concrete action.
It all starts from the ground up with a manufacturing change request, or MCR. This is your bottom-up action. Imagine an engineer or an operator who's working with the equipment day in and day out. They see a problem or maybe just a way to do things better. The MCR is their formal way to raise their hand and say, hey, I think we need to change something, and here's my idea.
But a request is just that, a request. It needs a green light, and that's where the manufacturing change order, or MCO, comes in. This is the official, top-down response. A manager reviews that request, and if they agree, they issue an MCO. This is the document that says, okay, this is approved. Go ahead and make it happen.
So you can see the flow here, right? It's a really logical process. Step 1, someone on the team spots an issue. Step 2, they submit the formal request, the MCR. And Step 3, management gives the official go-ahead with an MCO. This is how a smart idea becomes a fully authorized project.
Okay, we've covered all 4 of our acronyms. Time to bring it all home. In our final section, we're going to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and see how this complete operational safety system works in perfect harmony.
So this table right here, this is basically your cheat sheet. You've got MOC, the master plan for any change. Then there's PSM, the mandatory safety protocol for hazardous materials. And driving the whole process are the MCR, the team's request, and the MCO, management's official order. See how they all fit together? It's a really robust system.
So, we've seen how these incredibly well-thought-out systems are designed to manage risk from pretty much every angle. But that leaves me with one final question for you to chew on. When you have systems this robust, this complete, what then becomes the weakest link in operational safety? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.